Hello, I'm Mimi, and today I want to give you some insight into how I design my business as an artist with visual planning and show you how to get clarity on what platforms to spend time on in your own journey. I'm a visual person, and so whenever I'm planning, it helps me see things laid out in a visual language, like a mind map or a mood board, rather than just in text. And if you're an artist too, there's a pretty good chance that you might be the same way. This video is sponsored by Mimimoo because I'll be using their online tool for visual boards, but you can do the same activity on paper if that's more your thing. It's free to join Mimimoo though, and it's a really handy tool for creative mind maps and mood boards, and that way it's always easy to find your plans because they live online. So let me take you behind the scenes of one of the most useful things I've done for my business as an artist online, which is make this mind map on Mimimoo of the main outcomes I want to achieve in my business and which platforms or activities I do to achieve those. I call it a platform web because that's kind of what it looks like, and it gives me so much clarity on what the focus of each platform is and whether there are any gaps in what I'm trying to achieve. Since I do quite a bit of content creating, the focus of my web is what each platform does for my business, but yours might include physical products or going to markets or something like that. Ideally, each platform will have more than one purpose so that I'm getting the most out of my time, but sometimes it takes a little while to build up to that. The idea is to check that each of the main platforms or activities that I spend a lot of time on are actually working towards outcomes that I want. And ideally, each platform will have more than one purpose so that I'm getting the most out of my time, but sometimes it takes a little while to build up to that. So let me build this web from scratch to show you the process so that you can do it for your own art journey, and I'll talk you through the whole thing. So I'll make a new board on my homepage. If you're using Mimimoo, you can just drag and drop the board icon anywhere on the page to make a new board. I like to call mine platform web, but you can call yours anything that makes sense to you. And I like that Mimimoo auto-generates an icon for your board based on whatever you type in, which is pretty clever. And I can change that and the color if I want to over on the side panel. When you open a new board, you'll be offered some suggestions for templates to use. For today though, I want to build my own, so I just want an empty board. Now, the point for this mind map is to determine what outcomes you want to achieve within your art business, and then to see what platforms or activities or products will help you work toward those. So let's start with the broad outcomes we want to achieve, and these will be ongoing rather than just one-offs, and not necessarily tangible things, but more about what you want to provide yourself as an artist through this experience, and also what you want to provide your customers or audience. For me, I want to improve my art, and so something that I create for my business will need to help me work on that. I also want to build a community so that I can connect with other artists, but I also know that a community can create income later on through things like sponsorships. I want to teach or share my knowledge in some way, which goes hand in hand with building a community. I also want to provide value to my audience, and that goes hand in hand with the last main outcome for me, which is earning money from my art. So these are the main things that I want to achieve from running my art business. Yours might be different, or they might be very similar. You can also have more than 5 if you want to, and can get as specific as you like, but for the sake of simplicity, I found this to be a pretty good number. Now we can start introducing the platforms we want to create art and content for. And they don't have to be online, they can be in-person events like markets, just something that you're spending your time creating things for and showing them to an audience or customer. I'm going to introduce mine in this web in the same order that I started them in real life, just to show you as well how they can build and grow, because they certainly won't all happen at once. So I started with Instagram, and the main purpose of Instagram was always pretty clear to me. I wanted to improve my art, and I wanted to build a community there. I like to link these platforms with just a simple line to the outcome they achieve so that I can see what's being ticked off by what platform. Over time, I found that it was also a place where I could provide value to people, whether it was just a small amount of value through sharing my illustrations or by sharing behind the scenes content through my stories. I can see that this is a great platform for me to have and really worthwhile for me to spend my time on because it's achieving 3 of the 5 things that I'm working towards. It doesn't, however, allow me to share my knowledge very easily, and it doesn't earn money, so I can already see that I'll need to introduce platforms later on that work towards those two things. So next I started making YouTube videos, and although they were very simple to begin with, it allowed me to share my knowledge, and I really liked that about it because it's one of my listed outcomes that I want to achieve. It also helped me build a community, which is great, and eventually after making about 50 videos, it also started to earn money. You don't need to wait until you've done these things to put them on this mind map. This can totally just be a hypothetical plan for the future so that you know that the things you spend your time on are building towards outcomes that you actually want. The other major platform I wanted to build was Patreon because I thought it would be a great way to tick a few of these boxes at once. Patreon earns money because it's a service people pay for, but it's also a great place where I can share my knowledge and teach, and that helps me to provide really strong value to my community for those who want to access it. I also started making picture books, which is a great way of actively improving my drawing skills and also earns money. I could get into the nitty-gritty and add every platform or product that I have onto this board, but these are my main ones, so I like to keep it quite simple. So now I can clearly see what my plan is for the art and content that I create because each of these platforms is fulfilling multiple purposes, and I can see that all of my desirable outcomes are being ticked off by something I'm creating. Because I have my outcomes laid out so clearly, when I get offered a new opportunity and I'm not sure whether to accept it or not, I can come to this mind map to help guide me and assess whether the opportunity is something that fits the outcomes I'm working towards. If it's not going to achieve any of these outcomes, then maybe it's not the right opportunity for me, or at least not right now. You don't have to solely think as a business though, so maybe you want to make one of your outcomes to have fun. And if it's a fun project, then maybe that is something that's a good fit, even if it isn't ticking the other boxes. It's totally up to you, go with your gut, and plus you can always add more outcomes to your list and you can change things whenever you like. You're allowed to change your priorities, and this is really just to act as a guide. So if you're wanting to make your own mind map to design your business, but you're not sure where to start, here are some common outcomes that I've thought of and also some platforms that might work for you, so you can mix and match and pick the ones that feel good to you just to give you a starting point. Your outcomes might be improving your art, earning money, teaching and sharing knowledge, providing value, building community, having fun, challenging yourself, telling stories, making real-life connections, helping others, learning new things, building a reputation, or becoming famous if that's your thing. And your main platforms or activities could be Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Patreon, Twitter, in-person markets, illustrating picture books, illustrating commissions, presenting talks, a podcast, or having an art studio. So give this activity a go for yourself and see if it can give you some clarity and direction with what you could be spending your time and creative energy on to be able to achieve the outcomes that you want. I wanted to show you this insight into my business today to show you that you can be a creative artist and also a business person who's creating things with the intention of building an income. They're not mutually exclusive. It doesn't mean you're selling out, and it's not a completely impossible thing to attain. You can work on developing your skills to be a better artist and also work towards earning an income at the same time with the help of some planning and intention, which is why I wanted to show you this activity. Even though you might feel ill-equipped and underqualified with the business side of things right now, I'm confident that you've got the drive to set things in motion and you can learn all the business skills you need along the way. So I'd love to hear if you make your own business mind map after watching this video. Let us know in the comments if you do, and also let us know if you used Mimimoo. It's such a great tool for being organized but in a visual way, and I love it for making mood boards and planning for my art business, so I hope you enjoy it too. You can sign up for free today using the link in my description to organize your own creative projects. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already to let YouTube know that you liked it, and I look forward to sharing more art business videos with you soon. See you in the next one. Bye bye!